there will always be something that you would like to do versus something that the market wants, right? Before you even get started with a business, like you're always like, oh, you know what? I want to do this and that, right? You want to do a lot of different amazing stuff. And you try to roll out something there, but the market isn't receptive. They do not know who you are. So instead, while what I did during the process of going live, I built an audience base who actually trust me. So this is pretty simple. I then asked them, hey guys, what do you want to learn from me?
Welcome to Marketing Stuff. If you're looking to build an audience while creating a community, but you're not sure where to start, then today's guest has something for you. So make sure you grab a notepad and you get ready for some gems. I'm your host, Maurice Davis, the On-Demand CMO. Greetings and welcome to Victory Village. If you're a returning guest, I want to say thank you so much. If this is your first time, welcome to the crew. Come on in, the water's fine. I appreciate all your support. And if you are looking to build your marketing chops in a way that is easy to digest and fun to understand, then this is the show for you. Now, that's enough about me. Let's go ahead and dive into the show today. Our guest is a video marketing coach who helps entrepreneurs build authority via live video. Everyone, help me welcome June to the show today. Hello, June.
Thank you, Maurice, for having me today. It's my pleasure to be here.
Absolutely. I appreciate you. So one of the things that we do in this show is we kind of count how many people come from TikTok. I did not meet June on TikTok. So if you are keeping track and you know the number, send me an email at maurice@marketinggrowthstrategy.com and I'll enter you into a drawing at the end of the month for a semi-fabulous prize. I have decided what the prize is for anybody that's been paying attention. It will be a microphone. So you will get a professional level microphone that will connect directly to your PC. And I will share the details about the mic. You'll see it in the video above here. So that's what you'll win. All right, June. So let's give some folks some context about who you are, how we met, and just get into that a little bit. Because you have a very interesting story about how you got started with live and then what you're doing with it now.
Yeah, so actually I started like live videos back during pandemic when we just got into the pandemic, and during the first stage of lockdown, I was like so bored at home, and I felt like I was like in my journey where I kept doing the same thing all over again, and I really want to take this opportunity to challenge myself. And then I went into a course, and then they said like, you know what, you should actually publish a content every single day to build your authority. Like I was like, what do you mean? And I was like, I have no idea. So what is authority? Like what do you mean by authority, right? So but then I decided to be a very good student myself. I decided to, you know what, you do not know what it is and how it happens, but I decided to do it anyway. So I need to pick a platform, like it can be like a Facebook, Instagram, or TikTok, any platform that you like. And I need to pick a format. Like I can pick a blog, like, you know, written format, audio, like podcast, or video. But I felt like doing video is something that I always see people doing, like, you know, real. I don't think we have reels back then, but we see a lot of people doing live videos as well as like TikTok videos. I really feel super amazed at how they actually do it. Like, so I felt like this is something that it's going to make me feel very uncomfortable, and that's the one that I'm going to pick that. So to be honest, like when I first started my first ever video, I was like so damn nervous. I remember the feeling, you know what? I was like grabbing a notepad. I was like, okay, first, I'm going to do a video and it's a live video on my Facebook. And the first thing that come into my mind, I am not going to do it in a Facebook profile where I have loved my friends and family knowing that I did the Facebook video. That was where I was at. And because it's super embarrassing, you know, because you do not know how well you talk or whether it's like your contents or the context. And you don't want your friends and family members, especially your colleagues, to judge you based on something that you want to try, right? So then I decided, you know what? Just create a brand new Facebook profile, like added a bunch of strangers inside, like people that you don't care that you're you are embarrassed, and
Right.
because they are pretty much they're strangers, right? So that's what I did. I added, I think about 50 to 100 friends. I don't care what they think about me. And then I decided to go for the first live. I was holding a notepad. I was like thinking, you know what should I say in my first video? So I was like, you know what, just do a little introduction about myself, my
Yep.
name, my country. So because I'm in Malaysia, so it's a little bit far, and we have a very different culture there. So that's what I did for my first video. It was pretty short because the moment that I remember I pressed the live buttons, I was literally in my brain like, when is it going to stop? Like I want to press the stop button, but without embarrassing myself again. So I
Yeah.
think that was my first video. It was just like a less than 2 minutes video. Yeah, that was how I get started.
Yeah. And I think that's so important. It's funny because, so for context, everybody, I took June's 7-day live challenge and then enrolled in her amazing live academy, which I'm sure she'll share some context about that later. Uh, but I had, before that, I made the decision very similar to you to go live every day. And I didn't know what I was doing. This was actually back, I started going live probably back in 2017
Okay.
when I was a financial advisor for a pretty big bank here in the US. And it was, I was just like, I don't know enough people, right? And I have to, it's funny because what essentially it was like, I have to build my authority. That's not what I thought about it when I was doing it. It was like, I got to get more people to see me more often, right? And the first video, I don't, my first video was like on managing your money, and it was so bad, so bad. Uh, I look at it now and I'm like, oh my God, if I, it still makes me want to cry a little bit when I watch it now. So after you did your first video, what happened for you to decide to keep going?
You know what? You literally need the kind of like push of consistency. So I actually just read about this between consistency versus motivation.
Yep.
So at first, when you are starting to do something that you feel really uncomfortable,
Mhm.
you literally just need to be consistent enough. Like it can be, 1 to 2 minutes video every single day, to the point of the time that you started to feel like, hey, you know what? It's pretty fun. I remember what pushed me further was that after I did the first ever video, which I feel like, oh my God, how can I roll this to the world? But then I got the feedback from a lot of strangers, friends, which I added. They applaud for my courage of doing that. They were like, you know what? You look fine for a first video. I was like, really? Is that true? And that kind of like encouragement from the fellow strangers who commented at my first video, really thankful to you guys, right? If it wasn't for you guys, I would have continued right now, right? So I think
Right.
those encouragement actually helped me a little bit to build the kind of confidence. But apart from that, I would say that I treat it as like, an experiment, as well
Sure.
as, rather than writing a diary, like writing a journal, to record down your thoughts per day. Like every single day, we have so many thoughts every single day. We read an article with like, we have our own perspective or own point of view. But rather than just writing them down and to keep it in your head, I treat it like a journey to record whatever I'm learning. Today, I'm just going to put it in that video to tell people like, you know what, today I learned something new. I want to share with the world, with you guys. So I then
Yep.
started, because I love reading books and I love summarizing books and to explain them in a very easy to understand format. That's why I start to talk about books that I read
Yep.
and what are the key points that I learned from this book that really inspired me. And I realized that people are loving that kind of content, and that actually gave me the push.
Okay. That's fair. I love something that you said, that the strangers were like, you actually look fine for the first video, right? I think the really great thing about live, and for folks that are like, I don't know if I want to do live or if I want to try to do like uh pre-recorded video, the truth is when you do a live video, like everybody watching recognizes how emotionally horrifying it is.
Yes, totally agree. Because if you are able to press the live button, you are a winner. Like you are a winner
Yes.
compared to so many people out there.
Absolutely. And so many folks are like, I could never do that. Right. And so you really get the opportunity to start building up your content creation chops in a space where just doing it automatically makes you in like the top 20%. And I don't remember the numbers, but it was something like only 20% of Facebook users actually go live, and even
Wow.
fewer go live on a consistent basis.
Really?
So
I didn't know about stats. That's really awesome.
Yeah, it's been a while since I looked up the numbers. It's probably been about 2 years, but I would assume, even if we say it's increased to 35%, that's still not a lot when you think about like the billions of users on Facebook. There's so much opportunity to go live, and then let's pretend it's 50%. That 50% of people still aren't consistent, and so if you're going live consistently, whatever consistent looks like to you, you're going to stand out. And I think that's the thing that you were discovering, June, is like, I'm going live consistently. I'm sharing something that I'm learning. And people are being receptive because in my process of learning, I provided value to them. Now they don't have to go read the book, or they don't have to go learn the thing, because I'm delivering it to them on a silver platter. And then after you started doing it in a while, something evolved. So then you started doing the live video, but that has been like the vehicle you're using to build your business, right? So how did that transition of, I'm going to experiment with this, to this is going to be my vehicle to build my business?
That's fantastic. You know what? I think the thing about going live is that people see the authentic self as you as a person, and we often, the creator, we don't really realize that because we are the one who is creating. And
Right.
there are a lot of people, they are receptive to our creation without letting us know, without, while you're listening to this podcast, drop some comments so that we know that you are actually listening to this, right? But we know that there is what I call silent reader or silent watcher, like be it what we call it. So eventually, you are so consistent enough that initially people do not take, they don't take you seriously. They was like, you know what, June is just, just her usual self sharing a book. Yeah, I know about the book. People do not take it seriously when you're just starting out. But when you show up, you are putting yourself out there every single day, people start become like, I'm really curious, like what June is really talking about, right? What June has been sharing. So they will just watch one of your episodes. Like maybe it can be like your 50 episodes, or it can be your 30th episode, or maybe it's your 100th episode. They love it. And that's where they start going back to all your previous episodes and to see your transformation. I think the reasons that you're able to build that kind of authority is because people see from how sucked you were to how you have become the day, and they know that you have put in your hard work and the efforts along the way. And because of these tiny little things every single day and your consistency, build that kind of authority that you don't actually see it, but you really have to put in the hard work in a consistent basis for people to actually trust you. And eventually, every single piece of the videos that you put out is a marketing weapon for you, because it's going to be evergreen there, available 24/7 for people to access to your knowledge, to your energy, to your enthusiasm without you actually doing the work. Yeah, so that's what I believe.
Yeah. No, I think there's some great stuff that you're saying there, as far as some of the fear that I think comes in, not just live, but creating content in general, is some of that, like, what will people say? Right.
Yeah.
And the truth is, when you're first getting started, no one cares, because they're not paying attention. And it's not until you've put out multiple pieces that people start paying attention. But by then, if you are if you've made the decision to be consistent, your skill level has improved tremendously when you get over that hump and that creative hump of like, you're bad, you're bad, you're bad, you're kind of good, right? And you
Yes.
just keep stair stepping up, and you're like, okay, I don't suck anymore, right? I still have growth, but I don't suck anymore. There's a level of authority here because I've done the reps to kind of get me to the place that I am today, and then people appreciate the journey, right? Because
Yeah,
now
I
you be
love the saying.
yes, now you become something that like is attainable, right? Instead of, I think you think about creators like, and I'll use Russell Brunson as an example.
Sure.
Like now, if you look at him, you're like, I could never, right? I could never do that. But if you were to track back to when he first started, you're like, oh, like he didn't start like this. He started like this. And that's actually something that is attainable if I think about it that way. And it's plotting that journey for folks to kind of let them see that, like, no, I sucked. I sucked at one point really bad. I was really bad. So if let's talk a little bit about how did you transition to I'm going to use live as a way to document my journey, to share what I'm doing, to then becoming a video coach. Like what happened there? What?
That's a great question, Um, it's by accident. Like, at the end of the day, while you were building your name for yourself out there will always be something that you would like to do
Mhm.
versus something that the market wants, right?
Yeah.
Before you even get started with a business, like you're always like, oh, you know what? I want to do this and that, right? You want to do a lot of different amazing stuff. And you
Yep.
try to roll out something there, but the market isn't receptive. They do not know who you are.
Yeah.
So instead, while what I did during the process of going live, I built an audience base who actually trust me.
Yep.
So this is pretty simple. I then asked them, hey guys, what do you want to learn from me?
Mm.
What do you guys want me to teach more? If I were to roll out whether an academy or a workshop, right? What you guys want to learn from me? And these teaching live videos, like teaching people to go live, the video confidence thing, is never really in my list. You know what? Originally, before I teach this video confidence and video marketing, I was teaching people to close deals faster via
Okay.
storytelling strategy. I've been using the kind of like messaging for about 6 months time to 1 year time. At the end of the day, only I realized that, hey, you know what? That is not something that people are looking at because they don't even have a business to close more deals, but they are looking to become a influencer, a mini influencer. And they asked me this question like, June, how do you go live? I was like, you know what? Just take your camera, like, press the button. They were like, no, June, how do you go live? Like, eventually, when I drill further, only I realized that the questions that are asking, like, June, how do you go live by overcoming your fear?
Yeah.
June, what should I say in the video? Like, how should I appear confident? And June, like, what if people judge me for what I say? Or what if my mind is blank and I literally do not know what to say during the video? They were asking all these different sort of questions. And I then start a survey, gather all different questions that is being asked by my audience related to this topic. And when I see like this topic has become too frequently asked, I ask my audience about what they want to learn, and I design a core curriculum, and I actually design the entire core curriculum together with my audience by just telling them, "Hey, tell me what are the things that you're fearful of when you're doing live," and I'm just going to create that solutions for you. So essentially, after you have built an audience base, what you can
Yep.
do to transition is so simple. Ask your audience about it. Have an email list, send out an email, right? Send out an email asking the topics that they potentially want to learn and whether these are the people that they are willing to invest for a small fee. If you have been doing a great job in the past, inspiring them, and you know what? by having a really low tier kind of program, it is really not too hard to attract them. So that's how I actually make that transitions.
Okay. So just to kind of, recap that, essentially what you're saying is you didn't go out to become a video coach. You fell into it by being receptive to what the people that you were serving had to say about what they needed in order to grow.
Yeah, perfectly right.
Okay. So if someone is, well, let's talk a little bit more about the 7-day live challenge, because I think if you're here right now and you're like, I want to go live, but I resonate with some of the things that June is saying, is like, I don't know what to say. I'm afraid. I don't have the confidence. I may even struggle a little bit with like the consistency piece. And I think sometimes that's because like we overcomplicate content creation sometimes. And so that gets in the way of our consistency. So let's talk a little bit about the 7-day live challenge, because I think that is probably, to me, the format that you have is probably one of the easiest ways that I've seen to get someone to start going live. So did you start with the 7-day live challenge as far as the offer, or was it the Amazing Live Academy that you started with? And why did you choose those as your pillars?
That is a very good question. I didn't start it by creating the challenges. It is a 7-day amazing video challenge. I started by creating the Amazing Live Academy because from the questions that my audience has been asking me, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to put out a self-study course, an academy where I'm going to give all the resources needed from, overcoming your fear to knowing what to say in a video to content creation topics and all those different resources. So
Right.
I've pulled out everything, but then I have students enrolling with me. But I was like, you know what? You guys have enrolled into the academy. You have watched a training, but I have not seen any single video of you. I asked my students, like, what happened? Like, can you just tell me what happened? Because my goal is to make sure that you enroll into the academy and did your first freaking video, but then you have never taken actions. And it's not student related, but rather it's like, I think 4 or 5 people, they are having this similar experience. That's why I start like, you know what? They need some push. They need an environment where all of us are learning together. They need some encouragement and just some accountability to focus on small wins. So, because at the end of the day, when we all study a course, it may become a really big piece of things. People take courses, but they don't take actions. It's meaningless. So that's why I decided, you know what? I have never done any challenges before, but I have taken part in challenges before. I know the kind of accountability and the kind of environment really move people into action. So I decided, you know what, June, let's try doing a 30 days is too long, 21 days is too long, 14 days is too long. Let's do it a 7-day. So that's how we have the academy first, and then I started the 7-day amazing video challenge just to help my students in the academy to start taking actions. So that's how we get started.
Yeah, I love that. I've definitely done some challenges and kind of come to that same conclusion. That for the most part, anything over 2 weeks is definitely like, people are like, okay, like
exhausting. I was like, when is it going to end?
Yes, it definitely, for folks watching this, if you're on YouTube and you have questions, feel free to drop them in the comments below. I respond to 100% of the comments. If you're listening to this on your favorite podcast channel, shoot me a question over at on Facebook at Marketing Stuff Podcast, or email me at maurice@marketinggrowthstrategy.com. Any questions that you have about this stuff. There's some relationship here. So I want to add a little context that if your product costs more, typically your challenge needs to be longer, right? So understand that relationship. I don't want anybody listening to be like, okay, I have a $10,000 product and I'm gonna try to do a 3-day live challenge. You may be able to do it, but if you have $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 product, you may need to lengthen it out. I don't know that
Mm.
for sure for your industry, but just some context as far as what we're looking at. So when you created the 7-day live challenge and you decided that this is what you were going to be doing in order to help people grow and advance, what were kind of the pillars around the 7-day live? Like, why? We talked about why 7 days, but what is what's the question I'm trying to get out here? What are the things that you're trying to help someone accomplish in the course of that
Mhm.
7-day period?
Okay, so by the end of the 7 day, someone who think that they suck in public speaking, who are so fearful of speaking at a live video, who are so fearful of creating video, they should be able to create 7 videos in a week. Simple as that. So
Right.
that is the goal in mind. No matter whether you are like beginner, never done video before, or you are really, really experienced, you want to keep the consistency. That's how we help them to build the kind of confidence. And I always focusing on this concept that I call small win concept. So every
Yeah.
single day, when people think like video creation is a big topic, but what we did is to simplify it in a way that every single day you're just going to learn one trick. We're not going to give you a lot of theories and ask you to do, but rather it will be, one day you're just going to learn how to look more confident by using maybe 2 tips that we give you. And then
Right.
after I teach them like for 15 minutes, and we keep the coaching, live coaching, short and sweet so that people have the patience to finish that.
Yeah.
And then we give them a video topic to create. And creating video topic is so easy when all you need to do is just to answer 3 questions that we set up for you.
Right.
And initially, we'll be like, maybe we ask 3 questions, people are still do not know what kind of answers they're expecting. So we actually did extra mile. For the 3 questions that you're going to answer, I'm going to do the same video topic as you to show you how am I going to answer that 3 questions. So
Right.
eventually, because this is going to be like daily practicing and with a bunch of people who are just beginners, so it makes things easier. And I think the change that the participants feel when they did their first video with us is like, oh my God, I finally did it. Oh my
Yeah.
God. And that kind of feeling to me is priceless, because when doing video is something that you have been wanting to do, you have been thinking about it every single day for the past 2 years time, and you finally did your first video. I don't care whether it's a 1 minute video or 10-minute video, it doesn't matter. You felt like everything in your life is possible.
Yep.
And that actually will move you along in other areas of your life. So yeah.
Yeah. I'm so glad you said that because you're helping them create micro transformations in a safe space. That was like one thing that I really liked. And I was thinking about if I had started over, right? If I could go back to 2017 and have worked with you, I would have gotten further faster, right? Because one of the fears, I think when I originally started, I was doing one a week for a little while, right? And that was kind of like all the courage I could muster at the time. At the time, and part of it was because the fear of like, what would they say? What do I say? How do I do this? But the thing that I really loved about the challenge was it was inside of a closed group, right?
Mm.
So you have everyone that is feeling the same level of being like exposed to like this fear of going live all in one space where there's less fear because the person sitting to the left and the right of me, figuratively speaking, because we're not sitting together, um, all going through the same thing, right? And I think that's one of the things that probably made the challenge so impactful was the ability to be in that closed space and to get feedback from folks that are looking to do the same thing, right? Uh, and know that like no matter what happens at the end of this, I have I can no longer I can no longer say that I can't, right? If I did the
Yes.
7 days, then it's not that I can't do live. It's that I'm choosing not to do, which I think is such a profound outcome that is there inherently, but you don't say it specifically, and I think I think that's really interesting. So if if somebody wanted to participate, right, in the 7 day live challenge, or wanted to learn more about going live, what first of all, where would they go to learn more about the 7 day live challenge?
You can go to our website at www.amazingchallenge.us to actually see the latest challenge. We actually do it every once every 2 months. Once every
Okay.
2 months that we are hosting it. So depending on when you are listening to it, the date will be stated in our website amazingchallenge.us.
Good. And I'll include the link to the challenge in the notes. So again, if you're watching this on YouTube, it's directly below us. If you're watching this on a podcast or listening to this on your favorite podcast station, you can find the show notes, or you can find the information in the show notes. So either one, it will be there. I promise. Or you can email me at maurice@marketinggrowthstrategy.com, and I'll make sure you get the info, right? So whatever's clever, we're going to make sure you get info. If you're like, I need this in my life, right? And if you want to go live and you are feeling this sense of anxiety or fear, and you are the type of person that can't just press the button and figure it out, this is a great way to not have to try to figure it out on your own, right? Because figuring out on your own, it sucks.
Yeah, just get to know a bunch of friends who are also in the same emotion roller coaster, just like you, and just do it
Yes.
together. Yeah,
Yes.
we all have been there, right?
Absolutely. And it's funny you say that, because there's probably about 4 or 5 people that went through the challenge with me that we still like comment on each other's stuff, and like we still engage with one another. Like we became Facebook friends. And I didn't even think about that until you just said that, like, yeah, create friends. And I'm like, you know what? Yeah, there's a couple. So if nothing else, you get 7 days and you make some new friends, right?
Yeah,
So
come and join the fun.
yes, you really need to. I definitely recommend it. We're getting closer to the end here, but there are a few more questions that I have for you that aren't necessarily specifically about live. So the first one would be, what books or YouTube channels do you watch so you can continue growing as a marketing professional or a video professional?
Oh, that's a very good one, and I can't really think of a best book, but I really love reading, not specifically for marketing related, but more on, helping myself. I really love Tony Robbins' Awaken the Giant Within You. And it was one of the very first video when I want to talk about book sharing, because essentially whenever I have some limiting thoughts about myself,
Mm-hmm.
we all have that. It's just that we don't say it out, or how we actually overcome that kind of limiting beliefs, right? But I felt
Right.
like this book, it's one of the life changing book for me, because every time I have like some self-limiting belief about myself, I always refer back to this book. And after I refer back to this book, like my thoughts will be like reframe a little bit, and I feel like, you know what, June, I can do it. So that will be my number one. I'm a big fan of Tony's. Yeah.
Okay, good. I love that. I love that you're like, it's not really a marketing book, because I think that's important too, right? You fall into the trap of getting inside your space, and you forget that, like, number one, you're human and you need other things outside of like the how to do's. But then number two, the people that you're working with are human, right?
Hmm.
And the things that you're learning as far as like the limiting beliefs, they have these too, right? And so learning how to confront your own when you're doing this at a higher level, you start realizing that, like, people aren't buying things or aren't ready to move forward, not because the price is wrong, not because the product is wrong, not because the messaging was wrong. It's because, well, the messaging could be the problem, because what I'm about to say is a messaging thing, because they don't believe that they're capable.
Love
And
that.
until you can help them figure out that they're capable, they'll never move forward with you, because they have this feeling of it's impossible. So I love the Tony Robbins book. I'm going to have to check it out, because I remember you talking about that during the challenge, and I was like, I'm going to add that to my list. I'm going to put it on my list and bump it up. I'm actually reading Primal Branding right now. So I'm going to finish that one, and then I'm going to get through the Tony Robbins book for sure this time.
Finally.
Yeah. Finally. And then the last question that I have for you is, if a listener could only take away one thing, or a viewer could only take away one thing from today, what would it be?
Oh, that's easy. Just do it. The reasons that you're listening to this podcast, or whether you're watching this in YouTube, Marketing Stuff Podcast, there is a reason. And this is the sign that you have been looking for in the universe, that, you know what, you just need to do the goddamn thing that you have always wanted to do. This is a sign the universe is sending to you, and just do it. Don't think too much about it. Yeah, you may not have the experience. It's fine. We all started from scratch, right? But rather, it's more on the consistency with the practices. You will figure things out, and the universe will send you the right resources. So definitely, I would say, stop overthinking it and just do it.
I love that. I love that. Just do it. You've gotten your sign today, and then you've gotten the word from the live coach, June, telling you to just do it. The thing I will add to that is it's more fearful than what will happen or what you'll feel. You feel more fear now than what you'll feel after you've done it. And so there's a hump here. And if you can summon enough motivation to just go live for 2 minutes, when you're done, it won't feel as bad as you think it does, right? And I hope that makes sense, right, to somebody listening, like, oh yeah, I could see that, because you will feel a sense of accomplishment. I promise you, and it's a little one that may just change your life.
Loving that.
June, thank you so much for joining the show. I know that it is bedtime where you are, so I want to be mindful of that. I appreciate you so much, and I appreciate the guidance you've given me and helping me shape some of the things that I do in my content. Again, if you want to connect and learn more about June's challenge, you can find that information below, or you can find June on Facebook, and I will put her information there so that you can see all the great things that she's doing on live. That is a wrap for today's episode of Marketing Stuff. I hope you found today helpful. Again, if you have questions, drop them in the comment section on YouTube. We answer 100% of the comments that come through, or message me at Marketing Stuff Podcast on Facebook. Can't wait for you to join again on the next episode, where we continue to bring this marketing stuff to you in a way that's easy to understand. I appreciate you for listening. Until next time, make your marketing count. Outside of that, stay out here winning, y'all.